Fight a bell.
Let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome to the Monday evening Toastmasters meeting. So grateful that you all are here. And it looks like we have some beautiful new guests here this evening. I am going to share with you the mission of a Toastmaster. And what the mission of a Toastmasters Club is that we provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Is anyone here to foster their confidence and personal growth tonight? You can use the little reaction button that's at your bottom screen. You can put your thumbs up and say, yes, that's what we're here for. Great. I want to see who's here this evening. I see we have a guest. Can I pronounce your name as Nikita? Is it Nikita?
Yes, that's correct.
Nikita, welcome to the Wellington Toastmasters. Thank you for joining us. Tell us, what would you like to get out of this meeting this evening? How can we support you?
Oh man, just be yourselves. And yeah, I guess that would be it. My feedback might be spotty and full of ums and ahs and things like this, but I hope I can, offer something of value in that department. And thank you for accepting me into this without having me registered or sign up or do any questionnaires or anything like that. I think that's really cool how open it is. So thanks for, and so just be yourselves.
Great. We will. Will everyone be their self tonight? That's all we can be, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikita. What would be your one takeaway for the evening that you'd like to take away for the evening?
That I can listen to a number of people talk at length and listen intently and not feel anxious about my effect as a listener.
Great. Okay. Everyone, we will hold you accountable for that this evening. Okay. I see a couple of guests that have been here before, and we're so excited to have Terry back. Terry, welcome to our Monday evening meeting. Thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure to come by. Greetings from Canada, everyone. I'm in Alberta, Canada. I was in West Palm Beach, story is, and came to one of your meetings. And now with this COVID, I can kind of join in the crew here. So thank you very much.
We are grateful to have you, Terry. Thank you for joining us. And we have another guest I saw on this screen. Jenny, I know you're here. I just saw you. Let's make my screen a little larger. There you are. How are you, Denny? Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, thank you. What brought you back to Toastmaster? What intrigues you about Toastmasters and coming back?
Well, it's always experiencing different people's perspectives and opinions on matters that we're dealing with on an everyday basis, and finding ways to articulate our thoughts and our emotions is a very powerful thing. And I really enjoy seeing everyone do it here. And they challenge themselves to be better. That's the key. We're challenging ourselves to be better, and I love that. All right.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. No and I see Connie. I see we have Connie in the house. Welcome, Connie. We're so grateful that you made it out this evening. I know it's been a little journey of you getting here.
Thank you. Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me.
So what would you like to take away from this evening's meeting?
Confidence in my speech.
Okay. All right.
And good listening skills, basically. That will help me out a lot.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, let's see if that's a guest that just arrived. I don't see any more guests here. I hope I didn't miss anyone on the screen. Welcome everyone to our Monday Nights Toastmasters, and I am honored and privileged to introduce to you tonight one of our newest members who is bold and brave, and she knows how to put her cloak of courage on. Anytime you ask her anything, she is a yes. And I believe she's a yes to herself as well as us. So let's put our hands together and welcome Toastmaster Susanna. Welcome, Susanna.
Thank you, Madam President. The theme of the meeting tonight is aha moment. What is an aha moment? It is a point in time, an event, or an experience when one has a sudden insight or realization. Tonight, I encourage you to reflect on your aha moments and be present when you are called on for your table topics. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our Toastmaster, Natifa Oforvi-Atta, for invocation role.
Good evening, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Maya Angelou. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Natifa. As Toastmaster of the Day, I serve as your Master of Ceremonies. For the benefit of our guests and new members, a traditional Toastmaster meeting has 3 sections: formal speeches, table topics, and evaluation. Since we all are virtual tonight, I would strongly encourage each of you to provide feedback to the speakers and functionaries via Zoom in your private chat. Throughout the meeting, our members have the opportunity to practice their listening, critical thinking, and management skills by serving in various roles. Toastmaster Sastri Stewart, please explain your role as AHA counter.
Yes, definitely, Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'll be your AHA counter today. What I'll be doing is exactly paying attention to all of these things I just did. Uhs, interjections, double starts. Unfortunately, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to use the bell because I have a headset on, but I'll think on my feet, hopefully. So pay attention to what I might use my background, or I might use a sound from my phone, but I'll have to remove the headset. But that's pretty much what I'll be doing, and I'll provide a report to our general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sastri. Toastmaster Summer Matthews, please explain your role as grammarian word master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. One benefit of Toastmasters is that it helps people improve their grammar and word use. Being grammarian provides an exercise in expanding listening skills. I have several responsibilities: to introduce new words to members, to comment on the language used during the course of the meeting, and to provide examples of eloquence. The word of the day is epiphany. It's a noun, a sudden intuitive perception of or insight into the reality or essential meaning of something. Usually initiated by some simple, homely, or commonplace occurrence or experience. For example, in 1st grade, I experienced an epiphany that girls were always treated differently than boys. I encourage anyone speaking during the meeting to use epiphany, our word of the day. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Summer Matthews. Toastmaster Sylvia Zed, please explain your role as general timer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. I'm responsible for monitoring time for each speaker. I operate the timing signal to indicate speech length. Timing begins with the first definite verbal or non-verbal communication with the audience. Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sylvia. Toastmaster Justin Gwynn, please explain your role as general evaluator.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster of the day. If one thinks of the club meeting as a project, then think of the general evaluator as a quality control manager. I'll be commenting on the overall flow of today's meeting and giving feedback. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. So now we have reached the first section of our meeting, which is formal speeches, which are prepared speeches based on specific project in our communication manuals or our pathway program. This evening we have 3 speakers. Yay! Toastmaster, first speech, Toastmaster Keon. Please provide us with the project information for our first speaker.
Certainly, my pleasure, Madam Toastmaster. The first speaker is none other than our Toastmaster Ray Melendez. His path is dynamic leadership. And tonight, he's going to speak on the title that is the domino effect. His title is, the title of his speech is the domino effect, 5 to 7 minutes.
A timer, please demonstrate the timing signal for this project.
Toastmaster of the day, I will display my background screen will be green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. And I will clap the speaker off at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sylvia. So the speech title for our first speaker tonight is the domino effect. Toastmaster Ray Melendez will be sharing with us how a change to one behavior can activate a chain reaction as well as a shift in related behavior. He will be showing us how the domino effect can be applied within our own lives. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster, Ray.
Do you remember your first bike ride? Oh, I do. I remember wanting to bike like some of the bigger kids and do some of the tricks they did. But, you know, for most of us, we probably started riding our bikes with no hands, with our parents and training wheels on our side. We eventually got to the point where we were able to ride our bikes with no training wheels, but still had our parents by our side. We then got to the point where we were able to ride on our own. And in my case, I was able to eventually learn how to ride with no hands. Good evening, Toastmasters. Now, if we would have started riding our bikes on our first day, hands-free, and with no training wheels, chances are we would have fallen, injured ourselves, and probably given up. We probably would have tried again, but it would have taken a lot of failures before we would have seen any progress on this. But if we were to go about and apply small gradual steps, by doing this, we would be able to go and see, it would help us eventually learn how to ride our bike. This is what's known as the domino effect. B.J. Thornton said, every great change starts like a falling domino. Now, we've all heard of the domino effect. It's also known as a chain reaction. We set up a set of dominoes, one right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. We knock down one, and it'll continue to knock down the rest until it reaches the end. It's fun to do as a child, and it's fun to do as an adult. In 2009 in the Netherlands, the world record was set, toppling over 4,491,000 dominoes. So how did I come to learn the domino effect? Well, a couple of years ago, I visited a doctor, and I remember him suggesting to me I should put exercise as part of my routine. And I remember because I came back and I started to do all these exercises, running, walking, biking, swimming, and even working out at home. But after a couple of months, I wasn't seeing any progress in these exercises that I was doing. I was ready to give up. But instead, I decided to focus on one exercise. Biking would have been the number one and my favorite exercise, but instead I decided to actually run. When I started to run, I remember not being able to make it 4 houses down without losing my breath. I walked the rest of the way. And as I was walking, I remember seeing a fire hydrant and saying to myself, well, what if I can make it to that one fire hydrant? I tried the next day, and then I wasn't able to make it, but I tried again the following day, and I continued to try until I was able to make it to that fire hydrant. I saw a bench eventually. I did the same thing. I made that my goal until I made it to the bench, and then a stop sign. Now running is part of my daily ritual. But there's more to the domino effect. I was reading this article on how the domino, the size of a tic tac, can eventually topple a building. How? Well, in 1983, scientist Loren Whitehead wrote in the American Journal of Physics that he had discovered the true definition of the domino effect, and that a domino was capable of knocking down another of 1.5 times its size. With that said, if I was to start with a 5mm domino, it can knock down another one of 7.5 millimeters height. So by the time you've reached the 29th domino, you would have reached 1,300 feet, which is the size of the Empire State Building. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I started to run until it became a ritual in my life. Little by little, I started to get better in running faster and farther. But not only that, I was seeing a chain reaction in other parts of my life. I started to walk with my beautiful wife more frequently. I started to watch what I was eating and my overall health. And naturally, I found myself more focused at work and even sleeping better, more soundly at night, even though I never made this as part of my, I never planned putting it as part of my behavior. So I ended up narrowing down. There were 3 major changes that I had to apply for the domino to take effect. And number 1 will be was you'll need to evaluate your habits and routines and define which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to eliminate, which ones you want to add and make as part of your new routine. Number 2, focus on one rather than multiple areas here until you're able to master it. Break it down into smaller chunks, and until you're able to master it. Once you're able to master it, then you can make them a little bigger. Stay committed and consistent, keeping that momentum to be successful over time. See, the domino effect is about progress, not about results. You focus on your progress, and you will see your results become better and better. I think of it as a train. The train starts moving very slow, too slow for you to even notice sometimes. But the moment it's moving fast, it's hard to stop. Now, how will you apply the domino effect in your own lives? Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray Melendez. I personally could relate to domino effect when you gave example of bikes, especially when I just taught my daughter how to ride a bike. ride a bike. It just happened, so it resonated with me. And also when you gave example of healthy lifestyle, I'm sure all of us who are in quarantine phase can definitely see it more clear than ever before. Thank you. So time for second speech for tonight. Toastmaster Micheline Nimbard, please provide us the project name for our second speaker.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and Madam Toastmaster. I will be Shay Greaves' evaluator this evening. Her speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and her title of her speech is The Journey of Vision. Wow. The purpose and the project of Shay's speech is to learn about the different communication styles and identify her primary style. Additionally, to share the impact of her style with us this evening. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. As Toastmaster Micheline said, the speech title is The Journey of a Vision. KISS, keeping it super simple. It's not easy as it sounds. Shay will share with you a snapshot of her journey in communication, going from a visionary to practical steps. Please help me welcome Shay Greaves.
Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Helen Keller. First, I'd like to thank you, Wellington Toastmasters, because this platform has given me the opportunity to share past experiences and moments, memories that have brought me here. And secondly, to connect those past moments, memories, experiences to transformational ones that are happening right now. And you've been a part of that. Today's speech is called The Journey of Vision. But no vision is executed alone. It takes collaboration. Hence the name of my path, Visionary Communicator. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to share with you my journey with the world race, where I got to travel to 11 different countries in the course of a year as a missionary. Now, long before I ever started on the world race, it took a vision. It started somewhere. Today, I'd like to highlight for you 3 ways that I like to communicate that vision. 1, through storytelling. 2, metaphors. And 3, animation and expression. It all started at my local church. I found a church on this cute little corner of the street that I had been walking down for years, but never noticed the church. I joined, I dove straight in, building community and relationships, volunteering, studying the word, and it was a sunny Sunday afternoon. The preacher came forth and he began by referencing his scripture for the day. He read John 14:12. I tell you the truth, anyone who believes in me will do the same works I have done and even greater because I'm going to the Father. Now, talk about an aha moment, an epiphany, so to speak. This was Jesus's quote. It was him saying that he was going to the Father and that those that believed in him would do the same works and even greater works. Now, I don't know if you guys ever heard about Jesus, but he's rose people from the dead, brought people back to life, and he's saying that is his legacy for me. That was his vision. That moment changed me and it stayed with me. I guess you would say it was implanted in me. Let's pause for a moment. That was my story. I got to share that story with you, but not only you, every person that I met that brought me to the world race. What a story does is it allows you to be inserted with details touching, feeling, tasting, and experiencing it. Just like in that story, my vision now is shared with you. Second, metaphors. World, race, world, race. That phrasing in itself is a metaphor. We're born into the world. We have very little control over that. It is our world and race. Our life, so to speak, is a race. We're racing towards something, or we're racing for something. We give that race meaning, world race. So this metaphor makes it easier for people to connect to my vision. And the more meaning that I give it, the more purposeful it is. But not only that, metaphors work because other people can take that metaphor and make meaning of it for themselves. So it makes a universal connection for my vision. Lastly, expression, animation. Everyone likes to get excited. Everyone likes to feel that emotion. They want to be a part of it. The more that you can emote, the more that you can express, the more people want to get on board. But that goes for highs and that also goes for lows. I got to share in my story some of the most hurtful moments that brought me to a place of openness, but also some of the enthusiasm and new life that gave me direction to go in this way. In conclusion, Pathways illuminated some tips about communication styles, analytical, supporting, initiating. It threw all these different words out, but I think the strongest of visionary communicators are able to embody a little bit of each. And for me, that makes for an impactful visionary communicator. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shay Green. No sight, only vision, Helen Keller. Very powerful. And as you were talking about metaphor, I was thinking about what metaphor can I use for your speech? And what came to my mind was a tasty, delicious meal that came with all the ingredient recipe. So thank you, Toastmaster Shay Green. It was a delicious meal for sure. So time to move on to our third speech for tonight. Toastmaster Brendan McCoy, please provide us with the project information for our third speaker tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Tonight I will be evaluating Toastmaster Stacy Kessler. She will be working on her dynamic leadership, building a social media presence. The purpose of her project is to apply her understanding of social media to enhance or establish her new social media presence. The project title will be The Many Aha Moments of Building Our Social Media Presence. The timing is between 5 and 7 minutes. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brendan. Speech title for tonight's third speech is The Behind the Scene of Leadership. Stacy Mitchell will be speaking into adaptation as a leader, her journey as the president of Wellington Toastmasters, performing and readying for her newly launched web-based worldwide business. Please help me welcome Stacy. Oh.
Oh, in 2 days, I turned 52 years old. I've had many aha moments. It's like the 60,000 thoughts that go through our minds every day. How do you create the space to take these aha moments and put them into action? Although my husband Mark and I have been in business for over 33 years, 3 years ago, I took a little sabbatical from life. I unplugged from all of my identities and roles that I played in my life and reunited with my truths, with my little girl innocence. I was blessed to be able to pause on the human doingness and become a human being. About 9 months ago, I decided it was time to start giving back in a whole new way and birth an online program. Tonight, I'm going to share with you one of the many action steps I am taking in creating our online presence. We're going to speak about social media and the importance of building an online brand in social media, along with doing the steps to get the first social media platform connected. And if you really knew me, you know that this has been a big challenge for me in social media. I chose Facebook to talk to you about tonight because I've learned and embodied the many benefits of social media, both for personal and for business. I'm just going to give you 4 things that I thought about that have inspired me to keep in contact personally. So number 1, Facebook has allowed me to make many connections with family members, knowing what's going on in their lives, the good, the not so good, the other stuff, creating engagement and connection, sometimes creating that online, sometimes creating it offline. And it's so easy to get sidetracked. So I've learned to set a timer for myself so I don't get swallowed up in the time. Number 2 is Facebook allowed me to get over my fears of talking into a camera and living into my true philosophy that there is an audience waiting out there for every one of us. Facebook has also allowed me to renew old relationships and maintain my current ones, even for the people that I haven't spoken to in a long time. If they are following me on Facebook, when we do finally get to catch up, we can intimately connect on the things that are happening in our lives. And Facebook has allowed me to participate in many different local events that I would not have known about, and brought me to different events to collaborate and have a lot of fun with friends and family. So let's get to the juicy part. Let's dive into the benefits of building your brand on social media. So first, let's talk about what a brand is, as this may be a new lingo for you. Your brand is basically what identifies the item, service, in our case, myself and my husband, and what makes us unique. And as we create an emotional connection, stand out from others so that we are irresistible to our customer avatars and recognized, and how we want to get our message out there. Number 2 is that I've identified my audience. So let me give you 4 strategies that we are working on currently to build our brand now. To start, we've designed a business page. It's not connected to our personal pages. This business page will host a variety of information pertaining to our programs, offering great value. Sometimes we offer free master classes. We will open them to the public. We also use this page to stream our videos, our courses and classes that we feel that will support and give value to individuals and couples who are ready to dive into transformational work, or simply just want to add some of the treasures and gems we share into their own personal lives. The second page we've designed is a private group page. This group is designed exclusively for our clients to have a safe, sacred space to open their own experiences, get feedback and support from many like-minded individuals and couples from all around the world. It's also an accountability group holding one another to the daily home play exercises they are doing while they're in our Conscious Couples program. The third page we have designed is another group page. This group is dedicated to our Mastermind Book Club. This group is exclusive to people who have a mutual interest in being accountable in reading and discussing powerful books. We break it down masterfully, and everyone walks away with aha moments and many epiphanies and new viewpoints in being accountable in reading and discussing powerful books. We break it down so that when you are reading, you get to share openly what it is that you are learning in this book and hear from other couples around the world and individuals their feelings and their emotions of what their experiences as well. The fourth page we've designed is a group page connecting couples and individuals all around the world. We provide them with support by giving them valuable life strategies, tools, and concepts to develop ways to effectively communicate, rebuild trust, resulting them in intimacy and passion. This group page is open to the public for anyone who wants to emerge gracefully into the embodiment of self-love, unconditionally loving self and others, and feeling the safety and security of being vulnerable in a space where you are not judged for your life, but supported and inspired by others. My friends, this has been quite a journey of many obstacles and triumphs, leading me here to this moment right now with you, sharing the continued tenacity, moving through the fears and doubts, rising above as I wrap myself in a cloak of courage. I thank you all for supporting me in ways that you probably aren't even aware of. Yet each one of you, I'm so grateful, get to be a part of my vision in seeing the before and after and what it takes to inspire the world of people. To be continued, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stacy Kessler. What a powerful speech. When you open up the speech with Girl on Fire, I could see a smile on everybody's face, right? And thank you for being honest about our age. I heard like we stopped counting after you turned 30, but you were so honest about it. Thank you for that. And the thing that really resonated about your speech is how practical it was. Like branding, you don't necessarily need to have your company to think about brand, even the personal branding. That resonated with me. And at the end, you were very vulnerable and very honest. And I thank you for that. So having said that, we have so brief timers report. How are we doing on the timing?
Everyone was within time, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sylvia. Members and guests, as a gentle reminder, please give feedback to the speakers via Zoom in your private message. The suggestion being a couple of points that you like and 1 or 2 points that the speaker functionary could work on for improvement. And vote will be taken at a later time. It will be live poll. So moving on to our second part, impromptu speaking. It's the table topic. This is an opportunity for members to develop their impromptu speaking. Please welcome Toastmaster Gary Newper as our topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. Toastmaster of the Day. The Topics Master gives members who are not assigned a specific speaking role the opportunity to speak during the meeting. I will challenge a member with a subject and they will respond with a 1 to 2 minute impromptu talk. Please pay attention to the time signals and utilize as much of the 2 minutes as you can. Timer, can you please demonstrate the timing signal for table topics?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Let me interrupt. Before we dive into that, I wanted to ask our guests if they will be willing to participate in our table topics tonight. We have a couple of guests in the house.
Yes, love to.
Yes,
Would
yes.
Also.
Yeah. All right. Yes, Toastmaster Sylvia, I think we have yes from everybody.
Topic Master, I will display the green card or my virtual background green at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. I will clap the speaker off at 2 minutes 31 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabia. I will repeat the topic 2 times and then I will call on the speaker. So I invite you all to be super present and focused now as we proceed with table topics. In line with the theme of tonight, the first topic is Tell us about the aha moment when you found the perfect car, either that you already have or that you want for the future. Tell us about the aha moment when you found the perfect car. Toastmaster Henry Dow.
Good evening, Wellington Toastmasters and guests. Tell us about the one time that you had an aha moment when choosing a car. Well, I didn't have an aha moment. In fact, I didn't even have a choice because I took a hand-me-down car from my parents for a payment of $4,000. It's a Honda Accord, 2007. It has a few dents on the side because if you went to college, you understand that parking is a big issue and people don't pay attention to where they open their doors. Well, so an aha moment. Well, I had an aha moment when I realized that the Honda Accord is a great car. It has over 100,000 miles, and I would recommend somebody else to buy the car. I don't really have an aha moment for this car. In the future, though, if I can, I would try to buy a Tesla because I feel like the biggest epiphany I've had is that gas is it's gonna run out someday. So might as well do the change right now and then save yourself time and money in the future. So buy yourself a Tesla and go Elon Musk.
Thank you, Toastmaster Henry. Tell us about the aha moment when you came up with a name for one of your children. Tell us about the aha moment when you came up with a name for one of your children. Toastmaster Connie Andrews. We can't hear you.
Can you,
You're on mine.
Gary, can you hear me?
Now we can, yes.
Okay,
He's
great.
talking on my
Okay,
computer.
it's okay. So, aha moment of how I came up with the names for my children, for one of my children. There was a soap opera, and I believe it's still going. It was called All My Children. And there was this adorable actress, and her name was Olivia. And I was pregnant with my second child. And at that time, we had decided that we were not going to find out the sex of the child. So I had a female name and a male name. And Olivia was this baby's name for 9 months. And I wanted a little girl. And we talked to this baby and sang and called her Olivia for 9 months until the day that she popped out. When I took the baby, I had the baby in my arms. I don't know what happened, but that was an aha moment because Emily came out of my mouth. And Emily was a character in a book, in a play that was called Our Town. I don't remember who wrote it. I had read it in college. And the name of the person in the book was Emily. So subconsciously, that name must have been in there, even though Olivia, I talked about Olivia for 9 months, but once the baby came out, it was Emily. That was my aha moment. And I'm so grateful because I love that name. It's just a fun name. You can't even be angry. Like you can't say Emily. It still sounds like a nice, fun name. So that's my story about my second daughter, Emily, who is now 35.
Thank you, Toastmaster Connie. The next topic for this evening is tell us about the aha moment when you decided what career you were going to pursue. Tell us about the aha moment when you decided what career to pursue. Toastmaster Tim Morrell.
Well, it all boils down to witchcraft. Yes, I grew up in Pennsylvania, about 20 miles northwest of Pittsburgh. And my mother, at the age, when I was 13 years old, my mother was on trial for witchcraft. Yes, witchcraft in the 20th century. Who would have thunk it? It all boiled back to some crazy thing that me and this other kid, we got into trouble. We broke some windows, and the other kid's mom decided that her kid was innocent and I was totally to blame. And so she wasn't going to pay anything. So she came over. She was about 4'11", 4'10", little tiny thing. And my mom was about 5'10", almost 6 feet tall. And she came over here to my house, to my mom, got in my mom's face and tried to say how wonderful her kid was. And my mom basically told her to get the hell out of our house. And on the way out, this woman apparently saw that my mom was very well read. She had a huge library. And in the library, there were things about ancient Egyptians, ancient civilizations. And of course, there was a book of spells, witchcraft spells. So this lady, she fell down in our house, or not in our house, actually. She fell down on the way out. I'm trying to find where our timer is here somewhere on my screen. Anyway, there she is. So this lady fell down. She got hurt on the way out. She tried to sue, but instead of suing for like some negligence or something like that, she sued my mom for putting a spell on her. Witchcraft. Now, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and pretty much everything around my house was either you worked on a steel mill, or you worked in a railroad yard. And what I can tell you about this, is that those were really hard. And I did not want to do that kind of hard work. But on the other hand, I saw these two lawyers show up to my mom's witchcraft trial in a Lincoln Continental and a Cadillac with gorgeous secretaries, assistants. And I said, oh, they were making all this money for talking. That was my aha moment.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tim. That's definitely a great aha moment. Our final topic for the evening, or do we have time for one more?
We have just 1 minute, yes. We can,
okay.
It's 7:44, so we can do one.
Okay. Tell us about an aha moment when you came up with a plan for a vacation. Tell us about an aha moment when you came up with a plan for a vacation. Toastmaster or guest, Denny.
I had an epiphany you'd choose me. I was sitting there contemplating that, since I personally never had an aha moment for a vacation, really. Maybe an aha moment to go do something creative and fun randomly, that I can attest to. So I'll tie it back to that in essence, if that's all right. It happens just randomly, I'd say. It's like a feeling that just rushes through your body, right? These are my aha moments. And I was just going about my day, walking around the lake as usual, first thing in the morning, get my regular sunlight appointment, right? So just looking around, really seeing how beautiful everything looked. There's always this little family of ducks that kind of travel around the lake. They reproduce fairly quickly. It's like there's a bunch of babies, then there are a bunch of grown ducks, and they're just gone, and it's a recycle. I'm trying to really calculate how quick and fast they reproduce. It's a very interesting thing to me. But it just set me out on a path to really go see some different sites, see some different sceneries, and experience different things and try to capture these moments. So it sent me on a aha moment to kind of go just down the beach to a different area I've never been to, kind of just explore. Because you never realize some of the regular places you visit and you travel to, you miss a lot of very important, vital, moments and experiences. And it's keen to travel back to some of these places, especially if you had a good time there before, to try to see if maybe there's something you missed or something you can do even better that time. So, aha moment of the day. Just there we go. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Denny. We appreciate your participation.
Brief timers report.
Susanna, once you've done the timers report, we can launch the poll for the speakers.
Okay. Toastmaster Sobia, how did we do on the timing?
Everyone was within time.
All right. So tonight we will be voting on our 4 speakers: Henry Dow, Connie Andrews, Tim Morrell, Denny Lamour. Members and guests, as a gentle reminder, please provide your feedback to the speakers via Zoom in your private chat. So we're going to take the poll now.
Correction,
Yes,
Ray.
thanks. But it's just for the speakers. So it's Toastmaster Ray, Toastmaster Shay, and Toastmaster Stacy. We'll vote for the table topics afterwards.
Okay, got it.
Okay, has everyone cast their votes? Okay. Stacy, have you updated the polls for the table topics? Can I launch that one as well? Okay. Okay, we'll vote for the table topics now. Has everyone voted? We'll give it another 10 seconds. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna.
All right. So tonight we have reached our 3rd part of the Toastmaster meeting, which is evaluation. It is a gift of instant feedback, a key part of the success of the Toastmasters program. Please welcome Toastmaster Justin Gwynn as our general evaluator this evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. We'll get straight into the evaluations. Timer, can you please demonstrate the timing signals for the speech evaluations?
General evaluator, I will display the green screen at 2 minutes, yellow at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. And I will clap off the speaker at 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sobia. Without further ado, evaluating our first speaker, which was Ray, we have Miss Hyon Green. Please welcome Hyon Green.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Ray. I really enjoyed your speech, and especially the profound meaning enshrined by your delivery and the speech. The meaning was really appropriate, at least for me, who was always living the moment, not thinking about the consequence. So the title, The Domino Effect, really captured my attention, and you did hold my attention throughout your speech. Well done. When you were speaking, I was reminded of David Brooks. Did you all know, especially the guests, you may not have heard about the speech contest, public speaking contest that Toastmasters hold yearly on a global level. And David Brooks was a 1990 winner, world champion. He said that to give a good speech, we need to write a good script. And Ray, I felt that you wrote a very good script to deliver that wonderful speech. I like the fact that you did not read it. I like the fact that you did not heavily rely on it. I could not tell very well, but you didn't really look at it the whole time. You tried to look at the screen, try to maintain our attention. So that was very good. And also, I like the analogy you threw in at the end, the analogy of train, which was really appropriate and very effective analogy. And you try to also summarize your speech at the end by giving 3 main points. That was very good. And again, I liked your call to action. How will you apply the domino effect in your life? That was wonderful. There is one thing, only one thing I would like to offer to make your speech even better. That is in the area of vocal variety. And vocal variety also includes power pause, just to give a little dramatic effect to your speech. You could have said 1,300 feet when you were talking about the length of the dominoes that fell, the height of Empire State Building. You could have raised your voice a little to make the number even more dramatic. So other than that, vocal variety when you do the speech next time. And other than that, your speech was wonderful, well written, and well delivered. Good job, Ray.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hunter Green. Real quick, I just want to give a heads up to Toastmaster Shastri and Toastmaster Summer. As soon as the evaluations are completed, I'll be asking for your guys' reports, so please be prepared for the end of this evaluation session. Next, we have Toastmaster Micheline evaluating Toastmaster Shay. Please welcome Toastmaster Micheline.
Thank you. Let me get my screen to see Sylvia. There she is. Okay. Good evening again, Toastmasters. Thank you, General Evaluator. It's my pleasure to evaluate Shay this evening. Shay, you've asked me to do 3 things for you during this speech. Is to focus on your filler words, vocal variety, and conveying confidence. Your opening. Only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. That was opening of a lifetime. Your vocal variety was strong, it was clear and well delivered. That was great. So you met that part with vocal variety. Also with your vocal variety, your tone was smooth. You did your pause in the right places. You transitioned well to the various parts of your speech. You listed 3 communication styles very clearly and concisely. Storytelling, when you were talking about storytelling, your face lit up because naturally you're a storyteller. Metaphorically, you did that part as well. But when you got to animation and expression, everything blew up. It's your eyes, your smile, your energy, your gesture, everything came alive. It just took me back to the speech you did, the humor speech at the Wellington Toastmasters site, where everything you did had us laughing with the stuffed animal and when you were fighting with one of the kids in your class. That took me back to that moment. Conveying confidence. You did it. You met every part of that right on the nose. One thing you need to work on that could have made your speech a little better would have been your fillers. You did less of them, but there are still some that you did but you did some pause as well. Overall, you showed self-confidence, great organization, and great presence. Great job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. Moving right along, we have Toastmaster Brennan evaluating Toastmaster and President Stacy. Please welcome Toastmaster Brennan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially Toastmaster Stacy. I had an epiphany when I first met you. And the reason I say that is because I knew I was in the right Toastmasters club, especially just from the energy that you give, which is absolutely phenomenal, to just knowing that when I try and evaluate somebody and I find it challenging on areas for them to improve, that to me is very exciting. So it makes me want to amplify my ability as a Toastmaster to really pick up on all the little pieces. But let me tell you the things that you did absolutely phenomenal that I think makes you a very strong Toastmaster and gave a very, very solid speech tonight. So first, you came on with incredible energy, as you always do, and it was backed with the amped up music. And the second I heard that, I started rocking in my chair. So you immediately had my attention, and you had a smile on our face, and everybody saw that. You started off with a question. You even made us to think about how we use our time on this earth. So that all of a sudden made me engaged in addition. So now I'm bouncing, now I'm thinking. So you've really got me going. And then you had great eye contact. So I can look at you directly in the face. I can put you in speaker view, and it's very powerful. You gave excellent tone. You gave excellent projection. You spoke with a speed and pace that was very easy to understand. It got us very engaged. So I was able to hear everything that you said. You gave us excellent insight because when you started talking about your topic, you brought us all the way to the very basics and the beginning with really what is a brand and why is that important? And then what makes us unique? And as you're asking these questions, this is the process that you went through, but it was also a journey for us to be able to put ourselves in your position, which made it very relatable. And then you showed us how to be irresistible. You showed us how to create a message. And then you also provided us with 4 very powerful page strategies about creating a business page, about a private page, and also about 2 group pages. So for those of us that are trying to get into social media, that was very powerful and excellent insight. The one thing I maybe would like to see a little bit more is maybe a bit more variety in terms of facial expressions. And because you come off with very high positive energy, one thing you could potentially use when you were being vulnerable about your age would be to put maybe even more of like maybe even like a down kind of face or something like, I can't believe I'm going to be 52. And even if it's said with like a little bit of sarcasm, it can change it up a little bit and possibly a little bit more with the hand gestures like 52, but I'm so excited. I'm going to tell you why. And that could be a little bit of a transition. Outside of that, you had left us with 4 great topics all about Facebook. It's a great connection with your family, getting over your fears, renewing relationships, participating in local events. Excellent word like tenacity. And I love the quote you threw in there. There is an audience waiting for us. Stacy, phenomenal job. And I look forward to more speeches.
Thank you, Brendan.
Great job, Brendan. Thank you very much. Timer, may I please have a timer's report on the evaluations?
Yes, General Evaluator, everyone was within time. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Are we prepared at this point to do the voting for evaluators?
Yes, we are. I will launch the poll for evaluators now. Okay. Voting will now be complete. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. Before I move on to my report, we're going to do the grammarian's report. Toastmaster Summer, may I please have your grammarian report?
General Evaluator, the word epiphany was properly used 2 times during the meeting. I did not hear any grammatical errors. And the notable words and phrases that were used were every great change starts like falling dominoes. Domino effect is about progress, not results. The only worse thing than being blind is having no vision. That concludes my grammarian's report, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Summer. Toastmaster Shastri, can we please have the all counters report?
Yes, General Evaluator. The total number of filler words used today by our club was 46. The most fillers used by a member was "a." The most commonly used filler word by a member used 13 times. The following Toastmasters did not use any filler words during the meeting. Gary. That concludes my all-counter report, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shastri. Okay, moving on to the General Evaluator's report. First of all, I just wanted to recognize our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Susanna. What a fantastic job. Really, so good. Everybody, come on, round of applause. Like, that was great. Very, very good job.
Awesome.
For first time, right?
First time, wonderful. Everything went very smoothly. You know, you exhibited good listening skills, very well organized, you know, everything from top to bottom. Fantastic job. Very, very good. Very happy for you. Moving on to a couple others, the evaluators, seasoned evaluators that we all had tonight. They were all fantastic. They did a great job as well. I'm going to kind of go through this a bit quickly because I know we're kind of running up on time. Speakers, a couple things for the speakers. Just something that I've tended to notice is that, you know, eventually one day we're going to be getting back to hopefully doing these things in person, hopefully sooner than later. And what I'd like to see from the speakers is to stand up, you know, present it as you would a normal speech that you would be given in front of this audience. When you are sitting down, we can't see your hand gestures and some other things. So, you know, if you are standing back and standing up a little bit, you can kind of move around, you can kind of practice your hand gestures a little bit better. So that's just one other thing I noticed with the speakers that you may want to consider doing. We seem to get too comfortable, you know, in this environment, just sitting down and not using our hand gestures as much. If the speakers, want to try doing that, I would certainly encourage that. Another feature I would encourage with this platform is the chat feature. We shouldn't be using it a lot, I don't think, but I think it's very important for us to be communicating, you know, between the Toastmaster and the timer, you know, making sure that we're on time. And some of those back-end conversations can be happening to ensure that things stay organized and things stay on time. I know I've tried to do that in the past where I've communicated with evaluators and other things and not gotten a response. So I just think that's something that we need to maybe try to use a little bit more and try to be cognizant of, that feature is still there, and some people may be trying to chat with you or ask you a question or clarify something. And we may miss that if we don't have the chat feature open. What else did I have? Table topics, great job, Toastmaster Gary. Very great questions. I enjoyed everybody's answers as well. All the table topics presenters. I think it's gonna be a close vote, but you guys all did fantastic as well. And one final thing on timer, keep in mind that when we're being the timer, we're also the general timer, and to make sure that the general time stays on time as well. So not only use the green, yellow, and red cards during the actual speeches, but also to make sure that we stay on time, because right now is the end of it and we still have some more time to go. So we need to make sure we try to stay on track. But I won't continue on that anymore, and I'll hand it back to the wonderful, the fantastic Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Susanna. Good job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. At this time, we'll present the awards for the best speech, best table topics, and best speech evaluator.
Okay. I would like everyone to unmute so you can bang on your desk and clap for the best speaker. So our first place best speaker for the evening goes to Toastmaster Stacy.
Yay!
Thank you.
Our award for Table Topics Speaker of the Evening goes to Toastmaster Tim.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And our final award for the evening, Best Evaluator, goes to Toastmaster Brendan.
Yay!
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation. It has been my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the Day. Please welcome back our club president, Stacy Kessler.
What a great meeting. Each one of you are so inspiring. I've watched the growth on this platform alone. I've seen the lighting improve. I've witnessed everyone getting more and more comfortable being on an online platform, utilizing the tools properly, playing with your backgrounds, especially for you this evening, Summer Matthews. Great job on putting the word of the day in the background. Thought that was a great way of presenting. It's nice and clean and clear. You can see the word. You sat yourself off to the side perfectly so we could see the word. Excellent. Everyone here did a great job. And we look forward to hearing from our guests at this time. I'm going to call on our guest, Nikita. You can unmute yourself.
Here.
And share with us, what were your 2 takeaways from this meeting?
Oh man, well, let me give that a second thought.
One word. Give me one word that empowered you this evening. What is that word? What would that word be for empowerment? How were you inspired?
I think just I'm inspired by the fact that everybody has the strength to do this sort of thing, and there's unique strengths with every speaker that's talking, like with enthusiasm versus like having a really well written script and having everything figured out. It's adapting to from the tabletop speakers to the formal speeches. I was impressed with everyone's ability to like manage both staying on their subject and saying what they wanted to say, but not coming off as overly scripted or overly obsessed with getting it right. And just the fluidity of everyone's ability to speak confidently. I'm like blown away by it. So I'm encouraged as well by all of your strength.
Thank you for your sharing.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. I loved your evaluation of the meeting. It was much appreciated.
Thanks.
Our guest, Terry, share with us what brought you back here and what inspired you this evening.
Reason that I come back here is because I get a sense of continuity and camaraderie that's taken place. It's a very professional environment, especially in nowadays where telecommuting and speaking across a video camcorder, so on and so forth, as opposed to in person, we'll see a lot of that. I think that a platform like Toastmasters, to do the things that it's doing right now, the transition that the way your group has taken on those physical kind of elements into this realm is phenomenal. So that's really what's inspiring me to come back.
Thank you. Thank you for that evaluation. I love our guest participation tonight. I'm going to call upon Connie. We have two Connies here. Yes, our guest Connie this evening. Share with us, what are your two top takeaways from this meeting?
Me, this Connie?
Yes, this Connie. You are the
hi.
guest Connie.
For me, the two things. One, when you're discussing a topic or giving a speech about a topic, the word passion came up because I felt like the best speakers were the ones who are passionate what they were talking about. And they didn't speak from their mind or from a textbook. They spoke from their heart and from their belly. So it was easy to come off with their speech because their topics were driven by passion, number one. Number two, I like the word vision, how it tied in with legacy. That was something that I can use to apply to my own personal life. And I like anything that I can take away applicable to my life, my own personal development.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
Love the feedback from the guests tonight. Guest Denny, can you share with us what your number one takeaway was tonight versus any other night that you have joined us in Toastmasters? What has inspired you to come back? And when will you be joining us in our family?
Oh, wow. That's deep. That's deep. What always inspires me is how you all come together to inspire each other and to continue to aid each other in this journey of becoming better human beings. And I love the knowledge that was spread today, especially by you, Stacy. You truly appreciated, because we are headed towards that future of teleworking and being online. So it's very, very important that people learn to brand themselves, right? And it's just truly a blessing. And I do plan to become a part of your family. That is actually a question my godfather asked me in the comments in the chat. And it was it's something I really do plan on doing. So if we can get in touch, Stacy, after the meeting, I'd love to get in contact with you and talk about how I can go about joining the family. I truly love everyone here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for having me.
Aw, thanks, Jenny. That was beautiful. You are actually on my screen. You're right next to our Vice President of Membership, the guy with the dog behind him, Shastri Stewart. We will connect the two of you in the meeting. So just hang on afterwards once I dismiss the meeting, and we'll go ahead and give you all the information that you are inquiring about.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I believe I've talked to every guest here this evening, and I acknowledge all of our Toastmaster family for being here this evening. Happy Monday to you. I'm wishing you all a most beautiful week. Toastmaster Susanna is our Toastmaster of the Day next week. I invite you all to use the word epiphany all week long. Get present with our word of the day and make it your word of the week. See where you can utilize the word epiphany this week. As many of you, when you get to presence, will have many epiphanies. I wish you all a most beautiful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. All the officers, if you could just stand back a little bit for about 15 minutes. We're going to meet. In about 3 minutes, we will conduct our executive meeting. And I invite each of you to join us if you'd like. And if not, happy dinnering.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.